Is it? Yeah.
Good afternoon, one and all. Welcome to another interesting session on building a product which is fit for market, which is organized by IIC Cell RBVRR Women's College of Pharmacy, Hyderabad. I welcome our principal, Professor M. Sumakant Garu, and today's speaker, M. Vijay Kumar Garu, for this session. M. Vijay Kumar Garu is a prominent IPR specialist. He has completed his LLB from Osmania University. He has passed Indian Patent Agent examination from Government of India. He has completed PG Diploma on Intellectual Property Rights, and he also completed MSc in Information Technology. Sir, he's having a keen expertise in interaction with clients, group leaders, inventors at every state of patent research and patent analytic projects, patent drafting, prosecution, advice on various ways of protecting the ideas, product, process in different forms of IPR. He is also aware in training, creating awareness on IPR law, trademark, copyrights, design applications, filing and processing. Sir has worked as a technical member, trademarks, at Intellectual Property Appellate Board, Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, Government of India from 9th September 2020 till 4th April 2021. He worked as an IP analyst at Brain League IP Services Private Limited from May 2003 to 2009. He is working as guest faculty at NIPA. He is working as guest faculty at NIM SME, that is National Institute of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. He is working as a partner for IP Market since August 2012 till date, and he is working as a CEO for IWIN Services, IP Services since February 2009 till date. Sir is having a work experience of 15 plus years in IPR, and now I welcome Vijay Kumar Garu for today's session on building an innovation or product fit for market, which is organized by IIC Cell RBVRR Women's College of Pharmacy. A hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Should I start over the session or madam required to talk?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Madam,
Madam, you are mute, madam.
Sir, yeah, you can start, sir. See, we are out of the subject. Actually, we are in pharmacy. I think you are the correct.
So my presentation will be going live now. Yeah, great.
Yes, sir.
So even before I begin, I would like to give a formal disclaimer to this presentation that this is intended for only educational purpose and understanding of intellectual property law and how innovation and products for market fit need to be prepared. So nothing in this materials or slides reflect, these reflect my personal view. It doesn't reflect any organization I'm representing, and they are not binding on the organizations I'm representing. And there, every case is fact specific. So there might be some variations in the, it is general understanding, not for specific case studies. So whenever there is a specific requirement, you can approach the professional. In this session, I'm trying to do, I'm trying to explain what is an innovation, how it is different from invention, how do we define an invention, how it is different from a discovery, then basic economics of intellectual property, what are its basic aims, then ecosystem for creativity and innovation, how to safeguard your innovation through IPR and more specifically through patenting, and how do you design the product fit for the market, and anything else during the discussion if you want to ask me, or if you are interested to talking in a specific topic, we can discuss. Now, the first thing is the differentiation between innovation and invention. Most often, these two terminologies were confused by people. People use it as synonymous, in innovation and invention as synonymously. However, they are two different things. Invention is mechanical or physical aspect of technical accomplishment, whereas an innovation is more complete package. Innovation include not only invention, but also include other organizational and social aspects of taking an invention into the market. I think rightly, Idea Pharma has given a definition. It says that invention brings ideas or technologies together in a novel way to create something that did not exist before. So invention is something which is new, which is not existing in the world. You have invented for the first time, then it is called invention. However, innovation is, it is encompassing invention, written on invention, creation of meaningful value from the invention. So innovation is a broader perspective than invention. Invention is a one component in the innovation activity, but invention is a new thing what you come up in the market. Now, the myth and reality is, innovations and inventions happen only with educated people living in urban areas is what is the myth. However, reality is innovation does not relate to education or urbanization. It can happen anywhere and everywhere. I'll show you, not all innovations need workshops or brainstorming sessions or big budgets, R&D budgets to come up with invention and innovation. Sometimes out of the blue, you get some invention and from there, a new product emerges. So it depends upon what and how you got it. It is not about what education you got, what workshop you have attended, or what brainstorming session you have done, or how much R&D budget you are invested. Let's see some of the pictures here. These pictures I have taken from a presentation of Professor Pavan Mavadi. Here is a bullock cart. It is not regular bullock cart. So it is a bit different. Soldiers who are on move, they are making omelets on, not on regular pans, but they are using differently. These are some Chinese people. One guy sleeping on a chain, one guy sitting on a bottle. There is a traditional way of cleaning road, but somebody has invented this. Not a big machine, but then still it cleans the road. We call these kind of inventions as jugaad innovation, jugaad inventions. To the helmet, he has fixed two side mirrors so that he can see the backside. He's sending the bricks from the top to the bottom using two sticks. And he kept a rubber so that brick shouldn't broken. The rubber tire he has fixed on the sticks so that the brick falls into the carriage and it doesn't broken. So innovation and product market fit. If you get a product which is market fit, then I think no company will have losses. It's all because experimenting in the market. You release 100 products, only one product will hit and 99 products fail. So that is the reason it is very difficult for startups or entrepreneurs to make a product which is market fit. Now, innovation and market fit, there is a correlation. There is something about innovation and the produce, there is something about innovation that produce excitement to everyone. Successfully developing a new technology or discovering a potential treatment to an uncurable disease can make everybody in the organization excited. Most often, pharmaceutical companies, when they come up with a new drug, new molecule for existing disease, to eradicate that or to completely make it vanish, there was so much excitement in the company and among the employees who invented this. But successful innovation does not necessarily translate into commercial success. Your invention might be very successful, but when it comes to the market, it might not generate commercial success. So while you can find people who will be excited about your invention, it is more challenging to find people excited to pay that innovation. So people who can invest money into your innovation and take it up to the market, there might be people who might not be interested. When you come up with an innovation, they'll say that, hey, it is good. But when it required to be supported with funding, they might go back. As such, a systematic approach to evaluate the commercial viability of the product becomes invaluable. So when you make an innovation, that innovation, whether it is fit for market, is what you need to make a systematic approach of evaluation. And once you get this systematic plan and systematic approach you make for your innovation, which is fit for market, then it will be valuable to you and your company. Now, how do we build an interesting story in a technology? So when you want to make a new technology, how do you do that? Invention, innovation are about finding historical links, what is existing already, and employing these links in a meaningful manner. They are about to distorting the past. Like, what is the meaningful manner? You need to disagree, you need to distort the part and find, and they are about to finding a new utility. By distorting the past, how, if you can come up with a new utility, that is what innovation. So the challenge is to look at the past, preserve it in some form, yet distort it at the same time, and finally draw some utility out of it. These are the three components for innovation. So what is existing, you need to keep it and preserve it, and then disagree with it, come up with new utility for that, and that becomes your new innovation. So now for getting innovation, it is very difficult. Is it, if there is a formula, clear-cut formula saying that X, Y, Z gives you innovation, everybody would have applied that. But it is not so. Innovation and creativity, it might come up with any reasons. There is no single reason. But here, there are a couple of companies which have made experiments and made some rules and regulations how innovation and creativity can be made. It is one of the toughest challenges that the management faces. How do you get your people to think creatively, and what need to be provided to them to think creatively? Innovation is not most other businesses functions and activities. There are no reliable templates, no rules, no processes, or even measures of success. In sense, each act of innovation is unique fit in itself. So let us see some companies, how they have made some ecosystem for their employees to come up with innovations. Make it the norm, regular in business. Innovation is not a different thing. It is regular as you from the day. It is your regular routine as you get up from the bed and brush your teeth and go to bed. That regularly innovation has to be taken up. Many companies make innovation front page news and all that special attention as a paradoxical effect, but by serving it up to exotic, you isolate it from what is normal. So when you make it big, when you make it exotic, the other people feel that they are not capable of doing that big. However, you need to look at innovation as a daily routine in your industry. For innovation to be reliable, it need to be addressed systematically, like any business issue in which you define problem and solve it. So how you get innovation, you need to deal it with as regular as possible. You need to ask what is the problem, what are the resources we have, who will be the team, how do you motivate or reward them, and how do you measure the success. Creativity is a mysterious gift of talented few, but as everyday task of making non-obvious connections, bringing together things that don't normally go together, becomes innovation. If you isolate innovation from mainstream business, it can produce a dangerous cultural side effects, so that even creative people feel that it is a bigger people thing. I can't, I'm not big guy. I'm a small guy. I can't make innovation is what he'll think. And it derails him from making innovation. So to get innovation, you need to treat it as daily routine. Then put aside your egos. One of the hardest thing about innovation is getting people to accept that the way they work just might not be the best. So if I'm doing something, I'll feel that it is the best and I'll be working like that. If you feel that it is best, you might not get an innovation. So you need to feel that there can be something more to what I am doing. I might be doing the maximum possible that I can do, but there can be best available. So when you put aside that ego and look at what is best, then you might get innovation. Getting people to expand their view to see situation through others' eyes often raises ego issues. people don't want to believe that they are doing things in a way that are less than optimal. So whatever I'm doing, I feel that it is optimal. But if you have to believe that it is not optimal, it is less than optimal, then your ego issue will come and you will not agree to it. In fact, one of the hardest thing about innovation is to getting people to accept the way they work just might not be the best. The way you are working, if you go and say that you are not the best person, his ego is hurt and he might think other way. So that ego has to be put aside to get an innovation. Then reorganize frequently. We needed to orient people towards a new goal, and reorganizing was one way to do that. So every now and then you need to reorganize and get your goals set. People respond well if you can get them to focus not on the inconvenience of restructuring, but on the satisfaction of setting high goals and then knocking down the barriers to achieve them. So when you are reorganizing, when you are restructuring or reorganizing, there can be inconveniences, but you need to motivate them, saying that it is for this goal, this is what we are going to achieve by reorganizing. So that you need to motivate and get it reorganized frequently. Then don't fear of failures. Failures are stepping stones for success. So innovation is about taking risks and learning from failures. So to tap into the kind of innovation, do the best to make sure that people aren't afraid of the possibility of failures, and do a lot of experiments. Only when you fail, you will get learning. So failures, you should not think, you should not afraid of failures. Even if there is huge loss of failure, you need to ask your people to forget about those losses and continue to experiment. Then hire people who have experience outside your business domain. Suppose you are a pharmaceutical industry, you should get from mechanical industry a person. So that he doesn't know what's happening in pharmaceutical industry and he tries to apply his knowledge in a different way. Creative people who can apply what they have learned outside traditional business in dynamic customer-centric categories for traditional businesses. Engage completely different profile person to do a business in which he is not trained for. Employing people with diverse skill and talent help to challenge the status quo and developing a new business strategies. They tend to apply new rules and develop innovative methods. Traditionally, whatever is learned, you apply the same principles, you will not experiment. That's the reason you need to get a new person who is not connected to your domain to get innovation. Then abandon the crowd. A nearly universal misconception about innovation is that the ideal goal is to create the next hot product. So all companies will look at that next hot product to be manufactured. Companies miss out on all sort of opportunities for innovation because they focus closely on their competitors. So all competitors will be like now in COVID situation, everybody want to get a vaccine for the COVID, right? So when they are running for the COVID, the other areas they neglect. Not only vaccine, there are several other things which can be useful for COVID-19 handling. So you need to map out the different types of innovation activity in a given industry. You will almost always find the most of organizations are concentrating on same type of innovation. You need to come out of it and put your efforts into a different activity. Mapping innovation activity gives you a sense of terrain, what is there, what are the peaks and valleys in the investment and actions. You can also spend less and make more money in the innovation if you pay attention to the valleys, those places your competitors have overlooked. And let go your ideas. It is essential to build a culture where there is no such thing as bad idea. Priority should be given, should be simple to get as many ideas as possible out of individual set and into the group heads. So as many ideas as possible, you put an idea box, get your employee ideas into the box, and that let them discuss in group what their ideas are. And most often what happens is somebody who come up with the idea will not come up with a solution. There will be some other person takes that idea and materializes to the solution. So it is good that all ideas need to be clubbed and given a group discussion kind of a thing. And fight negativity. Innovation is like a professional sport. It looks easy, but when you are on the field, you see how complicated and difficult it is. Always hire people who are smarter than you. Find people who can do it better than you. You should be proud of your employees and not downgraded with their achievements. So most often this is what happens in managerial things. When you are manager, you don't want your employee to be outsmart you. So that is a negativity that you need to fight, and make sure that your employee can also outsmart you and get more innovative activity for your organization. And ask what if. Continuously encouraged to spend time exploring new ideas and asking what if I do this, what happens. These kind of questions allow to pursue the one that have the most promise. People have a lot of ideas, a lot of great ideas. If you give them space to do their things and create an environment that is collaborative, not competitive, if you never say that's silly when they are thinking out of box, then they'll come up with their new ideas and new innovation happens. Much patience and passion. Your passion for work, you need to passion, because what we do is just so darned hard. A mandatory partner to passion is diversity. People with different scientific backgrounds will bring different frame of reference to a problem and can spark an exciting and dynamic exchange of ideas. If the tools you're working with are hammers, you don't want all problems to be seen as nails. So science is just so much more interesting with passion and diversity. Although it was clear that the people ultimately would yield a product, some people on the team had emotional attachment to technology and hard time to letting it go. So you need to merge this passion, patience with the passion, and come up with the innovation. Outsmart your customers. Break the traditional rule, what always your customer wants, and then you get something better. So if you outsmart your customers, and what is that you are giving to customers, you don't provide that. What customers want, you think of that and provide that, you will get an innovation there. So this is the ecosystem for innovation. These 10 rules, these are not 10 rules, but there are so many other rules also. There are much more to come up with the innovation. Now, that is about how to come up with innovation. Once you get an innovation, then how to protect it is what patent law and policy says. Under patent law, this innovation or invention is considered to be a property. Property as a concept has been developed long ago, and it has been recognized through constitution and all. And then intellectual property, there are several justifications that have been provided for intellectual property protection, because you invest R&D money, or because it is your creativity, it is your labor effort that is involved in creating the innovation and invention that need to be protected, is what justified for intellectual property right protections. Now, it is also gained momentum because patent law has gained momentum because we are moving towards knowledge-based economy from natural resource-based economy. If 30-40 years back, the person whoever has rich natural resources used to be the richest person in the world. But now, the person who has more patents or more innovation or more inventions, he will be the richest person in the world. And also, Western countries influenced Indian economy or Asian countries to adopt patent law and protect innovation and invention through patent law system. Then earlier also we had innovation inventions were existing in India that were embedded into traditions. If we apply cow dung in front of our house, not knowing that cow dung has antibacterial properties and all, it does not allow insect and other things to come inside the house. That's the reason we put cow dung. But not knowingly, we have followed through hundreds of years. No scientific reason has been given. It has embedded into our traditional systems. Women wear tika and bangles. There are several other things like this which have been embedded into our traditions, that the knowledge has been involved into our traditions, and that's how it has been protected earlier. But rightly or wrongly, we've now adopted patent law system. Patent law and patent policy has been created by the government. There are various types of intellectual properties, right from copyrights, trademarks, designs, patents, geographical indications. There are several types of intellectual property rights. You need to understand each of these intellectual property rights and apply those intellectual property rights for your creativity and innovation, and those need to be protected properly by those respective laws. Now, patent law has emerged, and patent law works on this principle called quid pro quo. give and take. Quid pro quo is a Latin terminology, which means give and take. You give your knowledge or information about that innovation or invention to the society, and society representing by central government gives you limited period of monopoly rights. In case of patents, it is only 20 years. For 20 years, you get rights for the information you shared with the society. What are the requirements for grant of a patent? It need to be eligible patent subject matter. There are not all subjects are granted patents. If something is naturally existing, that will not be granted a patent. Computer program per se can't be granted a patent. Atomic energy will not be granted a patent. So there are certain no-nos to some subjects, and there are some subjects which can be patentable. Section 3 of Indian Patent Act talks about non-patentable inventions. And then your innovation and invention should be novel, new. It should not exist in any part of the world. If it is existing in Australia or Dubai, you call it invention. It is not an invention. It is at best called as discovery. It is not an invention. Invention means which is coming from your brain, which is not existing anywhere in this world. Unless it is really new or really novel, it will not be granted patent. So that is another requirement. Then there should be an inventive step. Even though it is new, if it does not have inventive step, it will not be granted a patent. It should involve some kind of inventive step. There should be some intellectual capital going into it. Unless your brain works on it, and if you merge 2 or 3 products into one product and say that that product might not be, the new product might not be existing, but all 3 products which you have merged is already existing. So what you have done is you have just combined them. If that combination is having an inventive step, then patent will be granted. Otherwise, patent will not be granted. Then there should be an industrial application. Whatever you have invented, it should be repeatedly made in industry. That is what's called industrial application utility. It should be useful in industry and repeatedly manufactured and distributed. So such products only patent will be granted. If it is can't manufactured, what is the use of granting a patent? Even you can't manufacture, no one can manufacture. So that's the reason there should be utility. It should be repeatedly made in the industry. And then there should be a specification written. Whatever invention or innovation you made, that you need to write in a piece of paper. You are not taking the prototype to the patent office. You are taking only the specification to the patent office, and that specification will be granted patent to you, not the prototype or the machine you invented. So you need to very clearly, very vividly narrate what it is, how many parts are there, how each part is connecting to other part, how the overall innovation or invention works. That need to be mentioned in the specification. If there are various modes, if there are multiple modes of manufacturing it or working it, you need to say what is the best mode. That best mode you need to describe. Then other requirements for grant of patent, that you need to, once a patent is granted, you need to file Form 27. You need to make product reasonable, available for reasonable, affordable cost. All those requirements need to met to get a patent grant. The process involved in grant of a patent: the moment you conceive an idea, you need to do a patent search to check whether similar ideas are already patented or not. If similar ideas are already patented or already existing, then your idea is not novel, and hence you won't get a patent. If your idea is novel, if there are similar ideas but your idea is different, the difference is what you have contributed, and that you can draft a provisional or complete specification and file a patent application. We don't require prototype or designing or testing of the product. Only you need to make sure that the examiner believes your idea as a workable model, and he once he believes, he'll grant a patent. So in case you have filed a provisional application, you can post date your provisional application to 6 months time. Provisional application will be filed when the idea is in nascent stage. It does not have complete experimentations required to be done. At that stage, you will file a provisional application. However, if the idea is in a complete stage, then you will file a complete specification with complete details. Once you file complete specification, it will be published after 18 months. After publication, it is open for pre-grant opposition. Minimum of 6 months, the controller will wait for pre-grant opposition. If nobody opposes, the examination will be done. Again, subject matter, novelty, utility, non-obviousness, specification, all these requirements the examiner will check. And if they are fulfilling, he'll grant a patent. Otherwise, he will issue a FER. FER is first examination report. And once a first examination report is issued, you need to reply to that first examination report a response within 6 months' time. He'll set out why it is not subject matter, it does not have novelty, it is not it lacking inventive step, it does not have industrial application, it is not properly described, is what will be narrated in FER. You need to reply how you are fulfilling these requirements. Once you file a reply, if it is satisfying, he'll grant a patent. If it is not satisfying to the examiner, he'll call for a personal hearing. And after hearing, he'll allow you to file written submissions within 15 days. And thereafter, he'll grant or refuse the patent. In case of a grant, you need to file renewal fees every year. First 2 years are exempted. From third year onwards till 20 years, you need to pay renewal fees. And you need to file working of patents every financial year within 6 months. That is, from 31st March till 30th September, you need to file working of patent, how many products you manufactured, how many licenses you have given, that information required to be given, and you need to file renewal fees. And then there is not only pre-grant opposition, after grant of a patent, 1 year time frame will be given for post-grant opposition by any interested party. Any interested party who is involved in the technology can file a post-grant opposition. Even that is, if that 1 year period is also over, still it is open for objection by filing revocation application by people who feel that it is not fulfilling the requirements of grant of a patent, that is subject matter, novelty, non-obviousness, utility, and specification. Now, patent law and innovations, Abraham Lincoln once said, patent system adds the fuel to the interest of fire of the genius. Innovation means doing something new that improves the product, process, or service. Patent law is to encourage inventions, innovations. The myth that patent confines knowledge is not correct, as the patent law is. Yeah. I'm audible now?
Yeah. Yes, now you are audible.
Yeah.
Yes, now you are audible.
I'm sorry.
There is some disturbance in the connection, I suppose.
Okay. Last slide, did you hear properly? This patent law and policy, is it proper to you? Till
yes,
where
sir,
you
yes,
were?
Sir. Yes.
Okay. So
now
what
you can
I'm
continue,
saying,
sir. Just only 1 second.
Yeah, that's fine. So the patent law is not, the myth is that patent law confines the knowledge is not correct. Patent law is designed to properly disseminate the knowledge throughout the world. Through patent classifications. If you don't file a patent, what happens? If you developed a good molecule, you might have published an article in a journal and you started your own factory and doing the business. However, your knowledge, that journal, access to that journal would be limited limited to few number of people. Not everybody will get access to that journal. And then whatever manufacturing you will be doing within particular, if you are in Hyderabad, you will be doing it only in Hyderabad, not throughout the world. So nobody knows except people in Hyderabad and those people who read the journal. Only those people get to know, but not everyone. However, when you file a patent application, it will be classified based on the technology. Suppose it is a pharmaceutical invention, chemical technology, pharmaceuticals, in pharmaceuticals, oncology related, ophthalmology related, or antivirals, what it is. So that particular technological segment, it will be taken out, and in that particular technology, your patent will be kept. So that in future, somebody want to research on the same subject, he'll be able to do a search and he'll get to know where the technology is placed, till where the technology has taken place. And then from there, he'll further research. He'll not reinvent the wheel. So if you don't file patent application, it is not going anywhere. If you file patent application, it is properly disseminating throughout the world. Any part of the world, through patent databases are available. They can do a search and get to know about your invention. So it is properly disseminating the information than confining the information. The objective of patent law is to promote innovation and encourage development of domestic industry. Patent may be a powerful business tool allowing innovators to gain exclusivity over new products or process developed a strong market position, and additional revenues through licensing. Patent protection is usually sought at the research and development stage of the technology life cycle. Before even you go into the market, at R&D stage itself, you file a patent application. Once you file regulatory permissions and all, once you come into the market, patent will be granted to you and you can enjoy the patent exclusivity. Now, governments require to strike balance between protecting intellectual property rights and satisfying public people's need. If intellectual property rights are protected and drugs are not being supplied to ailing people, then there will be a revolt. So, government need to strike this balance when granting intellectual property right. They need to ensure that the people are getting the drugs for affordable prices. If it is exorbitant prices, then there are other measures with the government that they can grant compulsory licenses and other things that have been available in the law. Innovation, competitiveness, intellectual property rights, be it patents, copyrights, trademarks, are the codependent entities which are also cornerstone found for the foundation of the global economy. For global economy to be running, to make investors to invest in R&D and all, we require to grant these innovations a patent right. Now, what is a patent? Patent is a legal title granting its holder the right to prevent third parties from commercially making, using, selling, and offering for sale and importing the patent invention without the authorization of the patentee. It is as per Section 48 of the Patent Act. As I said, it is quid pro quo. Protection is granted for 20 years. It is not worldwide. It is very important to note. If I file a patent application in India, I won't get patent throughout the world. I'll get patent only in India. What that it means is people in Pakistan, people in USA, people in Dubai, people in Russia, people in Australia are free to copy my technology. Likewise, if somebody makes a patent application in USA, suppose X company in USA files a molecule patent in USA, they have not filed application in India. Indian people are free to copy it. Indian people and Indian companies are free to copy it without paying any royalty to the person who has granted a patent in USA. Unless Indian government grants a patent that doesn't have any monopoly rights. So this important point you need to remember. These requirements I've already discussed. Let's skip this. Now, how do you start drafting patent specification? Once you generally, if the inventor makes the invention, the patent attorneys will draft it. So what patent attorneys do is they receive invention disclosure from the inventor, read and understand the invention, and then schedule inventor meeting, interview, understand what it is, then prepare the first draft of specification, get the first draft reviewed by proofreader, and then send the draft to the inventor for his review. Correct the draft based on the inputs provided by the inventor, and once draft is finalized, send it for filing the application. Now, for drafting patent specification, it is very important to understand the invention, find the gist of the invention, what are the different parts, what are the right embodiments to it, then find the right words, what words describe that product is very important. Words, terminology, and sentences to describe the invention. Words are power because words will have more influence in, because you are not taking prototype to the examiner, you are taking this patent specification, you will be narrating it by words. A vehicle can be a two-wheeler can be called a bike, two-wheeler, or a vehicle. When you call it as a vehicle, it is very broad terminology. When you call it as a bike, it is narrow terminology. When you call it two-wheeler, it is intermediate terminology. So you need to choose what are the right words to explain that particular product. Have imagination how your competitors could avoid the claimed invention but still take advantage of forcing the feature. So what you need to do is, when drafting specification, not what is that you have invented or what is that you have innovated is required to be drafted. You need to foresee how your competitors can come up with this similar products. Suppose you are you made an invention of a oncology related drug. So how this your other competitors can still manufacture oncology related drugs without infringing your patent is what you need to look in, and try to block all of them in your patent application. That is how you need to draft a patent specification. Then why we should take care of drafting patent specification? Because patent specification is a techno-legal document which is on which the patent rights are based, whether granted or refused. The specification is what appears in public domain once it is published. Competitors, person with ordinary skill in the art, and general public are among people who can read your specification apart from the patent examiner. Hence, it is important to bestow extreme care while drafting patent specification, most importantly with the respect to language and structure. It is extremely important to use carefully selected language, describe an invention satisfying requirements both in legal terms as well as technical terms. Technology wise, it is advancement in technology. Legal wise, it satisfies all requirements, that is subject matter, novelty, utility, non-obviousness, and specification requirements that need to be satisfied. Selection of a right word language may prove tricky when the drafting person is novice. If you are first time drafter, it looks difficult for you, but however, on practicing, you'll become perfect and you'll write very clear kind of specifications. Unclear and indefinite languages used in specification are always likely to attract competitors or any person interested to invalidate or oppose the patent or patent application. So if you have unclear and indefinite languages, that will trouble you from getting a patent grant. How the anatomy of patent specification: you have title, background of the invention you need to write, field or technical field. Background of the invention is of two parts, field and technical field. Field is again two parts, what technological domain broadly and narrowly. And then prior art references, what are the technologies that are existing till date, then summary of the invention, brief description of drawings, detailed description of the invention, claims, what is that you want to stop all of this, what is that you are claiming as your contribution, then abstract, drawings, sequence listing. These are the things which goes into the patent specification. Let us do a small exercise, drafting a patent specification for a teapot. A teapot with two sprouts. Seminars and conferences, during tea break, we normally find long queues for the tea, and a person will be serving the tea with a teapot, which will take longer times. Hence, the inventor came up with this present invention with two sprouts. Now, let us see how this can be protected. So, before going ahead with drafting in patent specification, you need to collect as much as information as possible. You need to ask different questions to the inventor. Did you or anyone else make the written or oral publication or disclosure regarding any aspect of the invention? Did you test the invention? Can you tell me what is that you have invented? Do you have a photograph or a drawing of your invention? Is there any other way to come up with a technical effect that is caused by the invention? What are the advantages of the invention in comparison to the prior art already existing? Prior art is technology that is existing. All the technologies are called technological arts. Prior art is the art that is existing prior to your invention. What are the important and critical features of the invention? How the problem solved in the past? What is that you want your competitors not to be doing? How do your competitors design around? If this is your invention, how, without touching this invention, how your competitor will design around and still make the product available in the market? All that you need to ask. And before start drafting, you need to understand what is the invention, what are the different parts that makes up the invention, how do these pieces and parts relate to one another. Is there one invention or more than one invention? That you need to look in before drafting. Then it is advised that do a prior art search before drafting. You need to do a prior art search. But then there are two kinds of people. One say that if you do a prior art search, you will be influenced by prior art. The other people say that you need to do a search to uncover what is not existing in the prior art, so that you can draft only to things what is new. If it is already existing in the prior art, you will not draft that, is what one kind of people say. Other kind of people say that when you do a prior art search, your thought process will be influenced by the prior art, so you should not do it, is what other kind of people say. Now, when we do a search, we got these three prior art results: prior art number 1, 2, and 3. Which one do you think is closer to the proposed invention? Is it 2? Yes, it is part 2 is the closest prior art. What is the difference between the closest prior art and your invention? So that is what is you contributed. What is existing and what is your invention? The comparison with those two, existing thing and your invention, the closest prior art and your invention, that gives you what is that you contributed. So that contribution is what your claim. You have contributed to it. So you have to claim that. You need to ask these questions to yourself before drafting. Could you explain your invention, how it is constructed, how it is functions, how it is used, what arguments you have in favor of inventive step, what are there any other applications of the invention, what is the aim of the invention? All this when you ask, then you can able to draft. Then what terms you need to use? Can you use pot, container, kettle, sprout, outlet, prostitution, projection? What is that? Is it one sprout, at least one sprout, two sprouts? A patent attorney is his own lexicographer. He can draft in whichever ways he want. Only the thing is he can get broader protection for his inventor. Then what need to be claimed is the handle, lid, or position of sprouts. A teapot comprising a container, a handle, and plurality of sprouts. Is that the claim? No, claim is not a laundry list. It need to be structured to provide precise meaning. You can't just put on parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. You can't go on listing like that as a laundry list. You need to structure it. You need to say how part 1 is connected to part 2, part 2 is connected to part 3, and how overall this invention is accomplished. A teapot comprising a container for holding beverage, a handle fixed or attached or mounted to the first side of the container, and plurality. Plurality means more than one. Let us think two sprouts fixed to the second side. First side is the handle. Second side is the opposite to the first side, is the sprouts fixed. A teapot of claim 1 wherein the container is made of porcelain. So like this you will draft a claim. Why patent specification is required, why drafting patent specification is important is, patent specification is one which is what you file for granting of a patent, and it need to enable, as per law, the specification must enable one to make and use the invention, must describe what is the invention, must disclose if there are several ways of making, how all those ways of making, and what is the best in your opinion that you need to provide. And you can take the help of drawings. It is not mandatory, but it requires, if the inventor is unable to explain the invention in words, you can take the support of drawings to explain the invention. Then patent claim, every patent specification should end with one or more claims. The said claim or claims should be supported by description or drawings. The claims create a fence. It's kind of a compound wall or the invention. Hence need to be precise and definite. What it is, you need to say. You need to stop all others from making that product for 20 years. So what is the product? If you are ambiguous, what is that you are going to stop others? That is difficult. So you have to definitely say that precisely and definitely say that what it is. Then you can't add new matter after filing your patent application, but you can claim, your claims can be amended to the extent supported by the specification initially disclosed. So these are the different parts of this patent specification. Like title, it should be short as specific, 500 characters. Background, then summary of the invention, brief description of drawings. Brief description of drawings, you will just name the drawings. You will not explain what it is. In detailed description, you will refer to the indent numbers and explain the entire drawing in the detailed description. Then claims, abstract, 150 words, not more than that allowed. Then drawings were required. Benefits of patenting. Patent recognizes and rewards the inventor. When a new technology comes into the market, society as a whole stands to benefit. Possible to finance further technological research and development. A patent effectively turns inventor know-how into commercial tradable asset. A patent also makes a small business more attractive to investors. Technical information and business intelligence generated by patenting process can spark new ideas and promote new inventions from which we can all benefit and which may in turn qualify for more patent protections. Patent information can be mapped, offering policymaker useful insights about where the technology is going ahead, what kind of infrastructure need to be developed. All that can be provided information to policymakers. The patent can help stop unscrupulous third parties from free riding on the efforts of the inventor. Now, how to make a product market fit, PMF. This guy Cohen, Chief Revenue Officer at Wonder, points us to his company's drive to be painkiller than a vitamin. Vitamins are nice to have, but people can't live without painkillers. So when you are making a product, whether you want to make vitamins or painkillers is what you need to decide. So which is more important for the market? So that you need to decide, that strategy, that systematic strategy you have to make. Many startups fail because they waste money on products that no one wants to buy. Startups should prioritize product market fit above all other goals, because those that find it will dramatically increase their odds of success. To avoid this fate, make sure you understand the pain points your product solves, as well as the challenges your customers are seeking to solve. You can do this by focusing on 6 primary areas, which we'll discuss below, like determining your target customer, gathering intelligence about your product, focusing on single verticals, specify your value proposition, measure your product market fit, and avoid complacency. So these are the things what you need to do to get your product market fit. Initially, when you come up with the molecule or a product in the market, it is in the top picture, the beginning, no clear sales path. You don't have anything. It is all like a jungle. But the moment you do some research how this product will fit in the market, then you might understand the path and you will get success in the market. Many potentially great companies fail each year because while they have very incredible product, they don't figure out how to get into the market fast enough. Figuring out how to reach customers and break through to product market fit remains one of the hardest part of the building successful startup. A 4-stage framework and checklist for founders to use when searching product market fit and exploring the early phases of finding a repeatable sales process, it will help you. Initiate understanding of the market landscape and the pain point you are solving. Learn how to gain access to initial customers and start to understand your machine. Prove out the market underlying components of machine and ultimately scale to the gain market share. Define your product. Once you define your product, what is your product and what is the solution you are giving, and then create your interview guide. You need to make an interview guide to people to ask people. Prepare your end user profile and perform interviews. Compile all of them. Understand whether it is product market fit or not. The patent landscape, patent intelligence for product market fit. The patent landscape for particular technology or invention can be critical for product or business manager. Patent landscape can provide unique insights to investment priorities, planning and research areas, partnership opportunities, time to market, trending or disruptive technologies, and much more. All this you'll get to where to get, which area you need to invest, what product to be bring in. All that will be able to be understood by doing patent intelligence, patent search, and patent intelligence. Understanding product market fit, PMF is the process to validate that the value proposition in your product creates customer excitement to purchase your product, which will translate into your actual sales. Measuring PMF ensures that you measure the market intent in purchasing your product and that you are able to move beyond initial curiosity your innovation might have. The basic methodology to measure product market fit resolves around engaging conversations with potential clients. As such, you contact early adopters or potential end users and evaluate their interest in the product or service. By interacting with your early adopters, you can measure their excitement and as you describe your invention and get the sense of overall interest. So target your audience, create value proposition, and then make market value proposition, and then it will whatever products are there, that will become market fit. Here, demand based aspirin. The aspirin is common, so they are saying that demand based aspirin. They are making that advertisement to gain market for their product. Why products fail in the market? It is either because delayed market entry, or the technology ahead of a time, or it is easy to replicate, or it is fixing a non-existing problem. There is no problem at all, but you are trying to come up with a solution to a non-existing problem. Those kind of things will not work out, and eventually fails. Those products will fail in the market. For example, this emission heater. People had problem with this emission heater, and then what this guy has invented is emission heater fixed in the bucket itself. Bucket can be plugged into and water can be heated in the bucket itself. So this product, though it is a great product, it does not click in the market. There are various reasons. This product does not suit the market requirement, though there is a patent granted. This product failed. Likewise, new product failure rates in pharmaceutical itself, if you see, 1 of the 3 launched products failed despite research and planning. 1 out of 4 projects that enter development make into the market. 46% of all resources allocated to new product by US firms is spent on failed products. Of 3,000 ideas, 100 projects will come on, 2 will launch, only 1 will get succeed. So what you need to do is you need to make a product. What do you do best? And then check demand for what your customers are looking. What is the market opportunity and what fits in the market? And then you also analyze your competitions. Then you'll get this PMF, product market fit. For science companies, for pharmaceutical and science company, product market fit isn't enough for success, but it is very critical to make product market fit. Apart from, innovation is one part, protection of innovation is other part, and making product market fit is the third part. So these 3 need to be streamlined. You need to first make an environment for innovation. Second, protect that innovation through intellectual property rights. Third, ensure this intellectual property right, whatever protected technology innovation, is product market fit. If product market fit is only the thing that matters for science startup, because market risk isn't the only big risk. Science companies often face major scientific risks, whether you can make a product at all. Over 85% drugs in development fail clinical trials because they don't work or they are unsafe. And science companies can also, in addition to the above risk, like regulatory risk will be there, intellectual property risk will be there. So these are all fatals that stop you from entering the market. Some of the inventions and innovations during COVID-19 period also, there are several innovations happened. Masks and gloves, ventilators, protective equipment, robotics, UV lighting screens, virus testing kits, drugs to cure, vaccines, sanitizers, cleaning processes, drones for delivery of essentials, ideas to spend time in lockdown period, software applications like virtual meeting apps, Arogya Setu, e-medicals, e-doctors, big data analytics, artificial intelligence. All these are the various innovations happened. I'll show you some of the pictures which made during COVID period. Drone tech startup. A Karnataka-based startup comes up with automatic Ambu bag ventilator, robot powering. From the AC, spread of virus has been stopped by this invention. This guy has made COVID-19 specific ventilator. He's an XMP. PPE kits, hot air sealing machine for PPE kits. A student created face mask for people who are deaf. So all this is innovation. Antibacterial property of copper is well known. The Israeli company come up with copper masks. Tunnels of disinfectants. Low-cost oxygen generators. Then money cleaning machine. There is what is called Corona oven. Then IIT Guwahati developed low-cost UVC light system to disinfect areas amid COVID-19. Then recycling machines. Like this, there are several things, healthcare trackers, wearables, sensors, 3D printer walls, 3D printed oxygen masks, fever finding smart helmets. There are several things, this kind of things happen. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'm open for questions now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was a great session where we are very happy to learn so many things from this session, sir. Thank you very much. I think we don't have any questions now, as of now.
Great.
Just we'll wait for 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah, maybe if people are not currently have questions and they want to ask me questions later of point of a time, you can see on the screen my email ID and my phone numbers. You can shoot it to me directly.
Yeah, sir, we have one question. Yeah. You can see on the screen, sir.
I'm unable to see it now. I'm sorry.
Dear sir, kindly highlight the
Kindly
various
highlight
approaches.
the various approaches for innovations.
Yeah.
As I said, there is no one single approach for innovation. There are various kinds of. We need to create an ecosystem. There are about 10 points I have highlighted in my slides. How innovation need to be approached. You need to keep away your ego. You need to make a conducive environment for your employees to come up with innovation and all. So those kind of things you need to learn. You need to apply. So, however, as I said, innovation itself is a unique feat. Every innovation has its own metrics.
Yeah. Sir, I have one question. Sir, is it possible to make every invention an innovation?
Right, very right question. That's what today's session is. Uh, there is difference between invention and innovation. Invention is as one component of innovation. So innovation is a broader spectrum which provides a solution to a problem. Invention might you might have come up with a solution, but without innovation to apply get that solution solved. If you don't apply innovation and take that invention to the market, then it might not called as innovation. So innovation has a broader spectrum, including invention. You need to solve a problem. That is what innovation. So not all inventions, like I have shown the bucket emission heater bucket. So that is a great invention, but it is not an innovation. It has not gone into the market. So that's how it is. So invention is there. So to get that invention into the market, you need to have an innovative approach. When you have an innovative approach, when you go into the market and sell that product, and when you get success there, then it is called innovation.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for once again for joining us for this session. So if you have any doubts, we surely try to communicate with you, sir. And thank you for sparing your time, and thank our principal madam for arranging this beautiful session and for sharing your ideas with us, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you one and all.